Happy Halloween, everyone! Welcome back to the Lumen Hound. Tonight, our favorite Paw Park has transformed into a haunted playground, decorated with cobwebs, spiders, and some seriously spooky pumpkins. It's the perfect night for a good scare, but when the decorations start getting a little too real, it's time for the Lumen Hound to step in and protect his friends. Look, there's Moon, Princess, and Pepper, all decked out for the occasion. Pepper, however, is clearly not having a good time in his little ghost costume. I don't like this moon, he's thinking. Everything is so dark, and the wind sounds like a lonely spirit whistling through the trees. Princess, ever the fashionista in her tiny crown, is unfazed. Relax, Pepper. It's just a bit of theater. And darling, your costume is drooping. You're losing the ghostly silhouette. Moon's eyes are glowing with that familiar faint white light. He can feel the manufactured fear in the air, the playful spookiness. He looks over at his trembling friend. Don't worry, buddy, he thinks, sending a wave of reassurance. I'll make sure nothing really scary happens tonight. And just like that, the first spook begins. Suddenly, a loud, maniacal cackle echoes through the park. And who emerges from behind a dumpster? It's our favorite bullies, Bart the Rottweiler and Bruno the German Shepherd, dressed in some interesting costumes. Looks like they've decided to ruin Halloween with some classic low-budget horror. Bart is channeling his inner creepy doll, complete with overalls and a big fake knife. Bruno is wrapped in a plastic sheet and chains, doing his best impression of a chainsaw-wielding villain. He. Bart cackles in a mockingly high-pitched voice. Time to play, little dogs. Trick or treat. Bruno growls. Give us your treats, or we take your fluff. Pepper lets out a tiny scream and disappears completely inside his ghost costume. But Princess, she just raises an elegant eyebrow, utterly unimpressed. Bart, your zipper is showing, she thinks with a sigh. And Bruno, that chain is plastic. I've seen scarier chew toys. 0 out of 10 for effort. Moon is just annoyed. This isn't scary, it's just lazy. He decides to end this pathetic attempt at a spook, focusing his super bark into a tight, invisible beam. He aims it right at Bart's oversized prop. The sonic wave hits the plastic knife, and snap! It breaks clean in half. Hey, Bart whines, looking at his broken toy. That was my prop. Defeated and grumbling, the bullies retreat into the shadows. Moon gives Princess a subtle wink. Round 1 goes to the good guys. The trio continues their walk through the haunted park, but Pepper is still on high alert, jumping at every shadow. As he nervously trots past a statue covered in a nun's habit, a very spooky Valak-style figure, our host's voice kicks in. Time for a real scare, he says. This one is courtesy of the park's teenage staff, who clearly have too much time on their hands. Just as Pepper passes, the figure's arm slowly, creakily moves. Its painted eyes seem to lock onto him, following his every step. It's staring into my soul. Pepper panics, running in a tight circle, tripping over his own costume. He tumbles and lands right at the feet of the terrifying figure. The statue raises a painted, ominous hand, preparing to loom over the terrified beagle. The beagle is trapped, but Moon knows this is just another trick. He doesn't need to waste his energy. Instead, he uses his super speed, darting behind the statue in a blur. He finds the support wire holding the costume up and applies a tiny, concentrated burst of heat from his eyes. The wire snaps instantly. The heavy costume collapses in on itself, turning from a terrifying specter into a sad, harmless pile of fabric on the ground. Pepper scrambles back, looking utterly confused. It melted. Moon casually walks up beside him. Just a loose thread, pal, he thinks smoothly. Happens all the time with cheap decorations. And now, for the grand finale. The dogs wander into a small, dark pavilion. Suddenly, a small screen flashes to life, showing a figure in a painted pig mask. Oh no, it's a Jigsaw-inspired trap. This is next-level spooky, our host exclaims. A recorded message just for the Lumen Hound. A distorted voice crackles through a hidden speaker. Hello, little hero. I want to play a game. The park's main light switch has been covered with a fake web that is actually highly sticky. If you don't turn on the lights in 30 seconds, the spooky fog machine turns on forever. Let the game begin. As if on cue, thick, eerie smoke begins to billow from the corners of the pavilion. Ugh, Fog Princess thinks, disgusted. It makes my coat damp. Moon, darling, whatever you're going to do, please hurry. Moon races to the light switch. The voice was right, the web is incredibly sticky. He can't risk touching it. Getting stuck would reveal his super strength. Our host points it out. Moon can't pull it, but he can push it. Moon closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and focuses. He unleashes a short, powerful, and perfectly aimed burst of his super buck. The invisible sonic force travels through the air like a punch, impacting the sticky cover over the light switch. The force is so precise, it cleanly snaps the switch into the on position without touching the web at all. Instantly, the pavilion floods with bright, safe lights. The fog machines hiss to a stop, and the Jigsaw screen goes blank. In the distance, Bart and Bruno look incredibly annoyed that their master plan has failed. Game over. The Lumen Hound saves Howl-oween. Moon is breathing a little heavily but stands triumphant. Princess, genuinely impressed for once, walks over and gives him a gentle lick on the forehead. You are definitely strange, Moon, she thinks, but that was rather impressive. My coat is saved. We're safe. We're safe. Pepper yaps, finally emerging from his costume, full of relief. Just then, Arthur, Moon's owner, walks up, blissfully unaware of the supernatural showdown that just took place. He's carrying a treat bag. Well, look at all my little heroes, he says happily. The park is just glowing tonight. And guess what? I brought treats. He gives everyone a special Howl-oween biscuit, including a slightly soggy one to a very grateful Pepper. Moon looks at his friends, his love, his loyal companion, and his kind master Ann. A wave of pure contentment washes over him. In the end, it's not the monsters that define us, but the courage we find to face them. And with the Lumen Hound on duty, every night is a safe night here at the Paw Park. Happy Howl-oween, everyone! What was your favorite Lumen Hound scare from tonight's episode? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because you won't want to miss what happens next time. See you then!